So next segment, we're going to go into the fourth quarter, and that's just what you mentioned, Bill. How are we doing in life right now? How has the game helped us in life? So let me go ahead and we'll start our fourth quarter.
Hey, before you start the fourth quarter, can I say something right quick?
Yeah.
I want to say, Reggie, to you, thank you so much for doing this, for having this vision, to want to give back to the community, and for choosing Lil Bill and I to be on with you. So I think this is going to do a lot for the community. So just want to congratulate you on doing that, and whatever way that we can help you, and whatever it is that you're doing outside of this, please don't hesitate to let us know, because it's all about, helping each other out. So appreciate you for doing this.
Oh no, you're welcome, Maurice. And like I said, man, when I thought about this, the first two people I thought about was, you and Lil Bill. I'm like, because I looked up to both, still look up to y'all. And a lot of times in the Black community, here there's Black people, we don't do enough celebrating our heroes. We're giving flowers at a funeral. We're talking about them for 3 minutes, but after it's over with, we don't celebrate them. And I gotta celebrate y'all. So I gotta give y'all cheers now. I gotta let y'all know, because y'all just those type of people, man. And if we don't celebrate each other, who's gonna celebrate us? Because I don't look at y'all as hometown heroes. I look at y'all just as heroes. They just don't know about y'all yet, a lot of them. But it's up to us and up to me to provide the medium so people will know that, hey, man, these guys were great. How come I never heard about them? But we got to get the message out. So I definitely appreciate that, Maurice.
Yes, sir.
So fourth quarter, here we go. Hold on, before we do that, Bill, you need a sub, man? You good?
Yeah, hold on. I need to take a little drink quick. Can I take a drink?
How go ahead.
All right. Here we go. Good.
While he taking that drink, I see there's a lot of comments on here. But one, my man, Big George Orr, when we were talking about the players from back in the day, George was on guard, man. George be leaning on you. George leaning on you. He said, man, I can't wait till I get home. I'm going to have me some macaroni and chicken. And he was always talking about what he was going to eat when he got off the
Big George.
What he was going to eat when he got off the court. But having that size body, that's how I learned how to post up. Having that size body constantly leaning on you, and then you can take his body and figure out how you're gonna make your move from that. So George, you and your collard greens, that helped me out a lot.
Big George Orr, man, good dude. Yeah, he used to be playing with us, and he was like, man, one day you ain't gonna be able to jump as high. I'm like, well, while I'm here now, I'm gonna be jumping high, because that old man game. You know what they gonna do? They gonna post you down. They gonna, like you said, lean on you, get you so frustrated. You're like, man, are they still here? Because we just want to run up and down the court, lay up. But yeah, they like slowing it down.
Hey, another thing before we get into and we don't mean any disrespect. We got to get a shout, and I think Lil Bill is going to feel the same way, to the man that gave us a chance playing high school basketball, and that's Coach Strawther.
Coach Strawther, yeah. Tell us about Coach, because the gym is named after him. I don't think I know Coach Strawther. People on the call may know him, but for some people who may not know who he is, let's talk about him. What was his style like?
You know what? I looked up. A lot of us looked up to Coach. He was our leader, and he was more than just a coach too. Like he was kind of like a father figure at the same time. And so the things that he usually said to us, to me was like gold. And I treasure every moment and every minute of it. And I think without him and the way he was with me and with the rest of the guys, I don't think we would have gotten as far as we have gotten without him. Instilling a lot of value in us when we were young.
Yeah. What about you, Maurice? Tell me about Coach.
Hey, was that to us. He was. My father was never involved in my life. Still not involved in my life. So my grandfather was like my father figure. I thought my grandfather was like my father.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather died in the 8th grade. Some months after that, here comes Coach Straw and put me on the varsity team. So to say he was just a father figure, no, he was like a father.
Yeah.
And Coach used to make me come to his house to eat. He used to have his wife to cook because he wanted me to gain weight. So it was like I was constantly there. So to say he was just a father figure, nah, it was the way we looked at him then. He was like our father, because several of us came out of single parent home, and not having that, not hearing that, and finally hearing that come from someone that you love, you honor, and you respect in that way, and like like little Bill was just saying, that we probably wouldn't have made it as far as we did if he didn't give us that opportunity to play.
No, that's great. Yeah, you like I said, we got to give our people their flowers now. We can't wait till they're gone. It's too late then. Maurice, I got a question for you, man. Tell me about Forrest Gump. I don't know, Bill, you know the story about Forrest Gump and Maurice?
I missed that one. I might, when he start talking, it might come back to me.
Yeah.
What about?
Something of yours is in Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah. You know, Forrest Gump was made, part of it was made in Hampton.
Yeah.
And me and Big Jake, Adonis, we was on our way going to the beach, and I got a 66 Ford Fairlane.
What color is it? What color is it?
Like a blue turquoise.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we was on our way going to the beach, and we going through Varnville, and all these people out there. Somebody, bam, 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 hitting on the trunk of the car, and me and I, what? I ain't gonna say what we said. Like, who in the heck hitting on the car like that? And white guy came up. He said, "Hey." I said, "Hey, what?" And we had my Fairlane. It was a 2-door, and we had all the windows down. And sitting in the back seat was a big cooler of beer. We was headed to the beach, and he asked me, "You want to put your car in the movie?" I'm like, "What movie?" I didn't know anything about no Forrest Gump, about this movie. And I like, Donald was like, "Yeah, man, put it in there." I said, "So what I need to do?" He said, "Bring it back by tomorrow and drop it off, and I'll let you know where we go from there." And I took the car, and they told me that they was going to spray it down with like carnation milk and water to make it look old and dusty. And I could pick it up the next day. And it's in the movie.
Yes.
When Forrest was running and Jenny was working in the restaurant. And the restaurant that scene was done right there in Varnville.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're looking at Forrest on TV running, you'll see the car drive by. If you blink, you're gonna miss it. The car drives by, and they paid me a couple of $1,000s for that. Just for my car being in the movie to drive by. So that's how it ended up in Forrest Gump. And I had people calling, "Man, I saw your car was in Forrest Gump." Then when I saw it, I was like, "How did you see it? It just went by that." It went by that.
Yeah, man. That's a little known Black history that y'all probably wouldn't have known, but I knew that story.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and get started the last quarter. Great job, guys.
And remind everybody again about the questions at the end of this fourth quarter. For those watching, y'all can ask questions. All right.
So fourth quarter. What we'll talk about now is just the transition into what you're doing now. Bill, every time I see you on Facebook, man, you're lifting up gyms, throwing tires around. I'm like, dude, did this dude ever stop? And Maurice, he's doing his thing. I know he's working with kids. You're officiating. He's eating healthy. Let's talk about the fourth quarter, not the fourth quarter in your life, but your transition to where you are now. And you can go first, Bill.
Well, you know what? I don't play basketball. I don't play basketball anymore, but I always train. I used to always try to keep my body in shape. So recently I just decided, why not just start become a personal trainer and start putting out videos. So I've been pretty much doing a lot of that because I want to, I would like to get a lot of people, get a lot of clients, bigger than Saskatoon where I live. Maybe perhaps work for some pros someday, even at 51, like I'm giving that up. So I still think it's an option and it can happen for sure. So I'm just going to stay at it and keep doing what I do. But like I said, I enjoy it. I love it. And you see, like I say, I put videos out just about every day.
Yeah.
So, clean. It's all natural. It's all natural. I'm clean. Like I eat good now. I eat healthy. I didn't before. 5 years ago, I didn't, but now I do. I just eat a lot of, just telling you what I do. I eat a lot of chicken and rice. I eat oatmeal every morning, and I eat oatmeal at night. Oatmeal, honey, and yogurt. And so it's things that I've done differently that I didn't do when I was younger.
Yeah. What about you, Maurice? Tell us about what you're doing now.
As you mentioned, I'm in education. I got into education. I had an opportunity. I was playing over in Dominican Republic. And for those of you that don't know, single parent home, my mom, but my grandparents live right next door. Granddad died when I was in 8th grade. So my grandmother, she played a major role. She was like, we were real close, played a major role in my life. And when I ended up going overseas, she was diagnosed with cancer and was talking to her every day. And I was like, you want me to come back home? And she was like, no, you're doing what you want to do and playing basketball. But I can tell that she wanted me back home. So I made the choice I don't even say give up my dream of playing basketball. I made that choice to come back home to spend time with her. And while I was home, she was like, you always love kids. Why don't you be a teacher? And I never thought about it because my first degree is in business. Yeah. So in 95, I went back and started my second degree, a bachelor's degree in special education. My grandmother died April 4th of 96. So that's how I got into education. I've been in education now for 22 years, special education, all those years. So to say I have a passion for working with kids, especially the underdog, the less privileged kids, that's definitely what I have been doing. And teaching comes with some frustration. So I had some health issues. At one time, I was on 19 different medicines, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, stressed out, irritable bowel syndrome. Believe it or not, I went from 199 to 270 pounds. So that led me to, hey, I need to change my lifestyle. And I started, looking into doing things naturally. And I lost the weight. And July 9th of this year has been 3 years that I've been vegan. So
that's great.
For those that don't know what vegan is, I don't eat meat. I don't eat any dairy. I don't eat any seafood. And I cut back on a lot of sweets because what I know now, had we known that back in high school, people thought we had a team back then. But if we knew how to take care of our bodies, nutritional wise, man, it would have been crazy doing that. So my thing is now, I got involved with marketing. I love doing network marketing with health and wellness. And what I try to encourage kids to do now with sports is start taking care of their bodies.
Yeah.
You only have one body. Your body is your number one asset. And like we all said, that season in your life is going to come to an end.
Yeah.
And we as African Americans, we are leading in a lot of unhealthy categories. We're leading in a lot of unhealthy categories. We're one of the leading races that's dying from COVID.
Yeah.
And I think it's directly related to our lifestyle and what we're doing and what we're eating. So just, constantly wanting to, encourage people to start taking care of their body, not just physically, but what you're doing inwardly, what you're doing spiritually as well, because all of that plays a part. And I mean, and seeing Bill doing this thing, that inspires a lot of people. Some days I don't feel like, man, look at him. He always got his shirt off now.
Red.
But hey, and I congratulate him on it, and to hear him eating better, because when he came home some years ago, he lived at Popeyes. Was it Popeyes? He lived at Popeyes Chicken. They knew his name. Hey, you want your? I said, well, how do they know what you want? You come in here that often, and a big cup of sweet tea. So that transition to where I am now, just encouraging people to, if nothing else, be better than you were the day before.
Yeah.
And Reggie, you said this. You said we don't do enough of lifting each other up. I tell people now, I see you doing anything. If I can help you out in whatever way that I can help you out, I want to be your biggest cheerleader. Mm-hmm. I've learned to ask more, what can I do to help you? And genuinely mean that. What can I do to help you fulfill your dream or whatever it is that you're trying to make?
No, that's right. Because I look at it like this. If you were to pass away 80, 90 years old, it's going to be 6 brothers who are going to volunteer to lift you up out of the church, put you in a casket. But we need them 6 brothers when we're alive, so we can go to and say, hey, Maurice, like that conversation we had I think a couple of weeks ago, all of us were talking. I mean, that lifted me up. I know same thing for you, Bill and Maurice, but we need to do that to people. Don't wait till they die to lift them up. If you lifted them up when they was living, they wouldn't die so soon. Because just because you die physically, that don't mean you don't have to die physically, because you could be dead spiritually and mentally. Yeah. So we got to make sure we always seeking out to lift our brothers up. Yeah. And brothers, you always got to, if something's going on, don't be afraid to say, hey, this is what's going on. Yeah. Nobody, if you got real friends, well, not friends, real brothers like these two, they are not going to judge you. They're going to help you, make you get on the right path. And because steel sharpens steel and iron sharpens iron. Yeah. So that ends our game for the 4th quarter. But I want to thank Bill Murdaugh. You know him as Little Bill, Maurice Walker, Hampton County, Stand Up, North Greenville, UNC Spartanburg, Columbia, Sacagawea, Canada. I mean,
Saskatchewan.
Stand Up, and everybody on Facebook, give a round of applause to my brothers, my dudes, Maurice and Bill. I really appreciate you, man. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it. Hey, I want to say something else. I said that Bill and I played together high school, and I said we couldn't play together in college when I left. And what I don't know how this will work now. What I would like to see, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying this. What I would like to see for us to coach together. And I'm saying that because when he was home that summer, I took him over to one of the local high schools, high school girls gym, and the coach let us run the practice. Yeah. And the practice was and the coaches sat on the sideline and watched us. The practice was so intense. It was unreal. I took the underdogs. I took the ones that the other players said they couldn't play. I said, no. And one of the girls I was training, Little Bill had her on that team. Yeah. And I taught those girls, I said, hey, all we're going to do is send them to the hand they can't use and watch how we frustrate. And the coach, at the end of that practice, she wanted to hire both of us. I said, oh, he in Canada. She said, oh, I can get him a job. And how well we worked together, working with those kids, man, just to see that, just to see their attitude, just to see their demeanor, and to see when that thing clicked, like how this defense worked. One time, the kids that I had, it was clicking, and Bill looked down at me. He said, Red, it's coming. It's coming. Red, it's coming. And when it came and it clicked, he said, Red, they got it. Yeah. He clicked for him playing defense. And then he told his players, he said, hey, y'all got to step up. They locking y'all down. You don't know how to use your other hand. So that is, with him being in Canada now, I don't know how that.
Red.
I don't know how that will work. We will work together.
Yeah, somehow we'll Red.
We would work together, coach.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got all these mediums. We got Zoom. We got phones. We got. So yeah, it can happen, man. I love to see it.
Maybe he might be coming back to the States sometime. I don't know.
All right, egghead.
Maybe I'm
So
putting it out, speaking it into existence.
that's right.
Yes.
So Facebook, who has some questions for us, Maurice?
Aiden, I'm gonna make sure I'm getting the first question. Guys, go ahead and drop your questions. And the first question I'm seeing is Aiden Mark Wilson. If you could give a young person 3 tips to excel playing the game, what would they be?
Great
3 tips for them to excel with playing, what would it be?
So Bill, I'll let you answer that question.
Say that again. You cut out on me, brother. Can you say that? Repeat that again.
If you could give a young person 3 tips to excel in playing the game, what would the 3 tips be?
I think one, a lot of practice, perseverance, and commitment.
Yeah, that's good.
Commitment.
Perseverance and commitment.
Yeah. And what I would say is being able to have self-awareness, knowing who you are when you are by yourself, not with other people, not with your friends, self-awareness. Right. Number one, you got to have discipline. These 2 brothers mentioned discipline, how important it is. And 3, I think one of the most important, if not the important ones, you got to be coachable. You got to have somebody tell you, hey, Bill, you're really not that good. Because he told me, and Maurice told me the same thing. Hey, man, you need to work on something. I'm good, Maurice. No, you got to have people, because if you're coachable, people are going to give you information that they're not going to give everyone else because they know you're going to receive it and do something with it. People don't give you advice if they know you're not going to use it. What's the point?
Right. Yeah.
What about you, Maurice?
Coachability definitely is one. Learn the fundamentals. The fundamentals of anything that you're doing in life will not change.
No, it won't. That's the basis.
Fundamentals will not change. Learn the fundamentals of whatever it is that you're doing. If we're talking about basketball, learn the fundamentals of basketball. Master the fundamentals. And then if you want to build on top of that, take one skill at a time and then add that skill on. Perfect it, then add another skill. But learning the fundamental. The third thing, the third thing should have been the first thing, is keep God first.
Yeah.
Seek the kingdom of heaven first and all of his righteousness. And all these other things will be added unto you. Keeping Christ first.
That's right. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, because you gotta. If you go in it with selfish attitudes, then you're not gonna win a championship. Because you can't win a championship by yourself. But when you have that vision and you have people around you who are gonna build you up, you're gonna win it. Even if you don't win it, you're gonna win something.
Exactly. And don't be so excited to. And I'm not saying this about all AAU organizations. Don't be so excited just to be on an AAU team. If you can get with somebody, a personal trainer, that's gonna teach you and that's gonna develop you, I think that's better than getting on some AAU team where you just going to play. The coaches, you're not hardly running these. You're just going out there to play, and you're paying money to do that. Versus you developing your skills. So yeah.
So a follow-up to that question, Bill and Maurice, what do you say to that parent? Because that kid is the next whoever. He ain't even out here yet, but he's going to be better than Jordan. But that kid can't catch a ball. He can't set a pick. He don't know what the triple threat is. What do you say to the parent who has unhealthy expectations for this young man or young woman? What do you tell that person? Like, because you're in education, and Bill, you're doing training. How do you break it to a parent? Because sometimes it's not the kids, it's what the parents are putting on these kids.
Yeah, and I think it's unrealistic expectations that they put on their child, and I find that a few try to live through their child. You just have to be realistic. Like, it doesn't need to pretend. Say if you're working with somebody and saying that they're going to be something that they're not, because sometimes they're just limited. You know what I mean? So you just have to be honest, you know, and get the best that you can get out of them as they are.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what, you know.
Oh, someone had a question about Bill. How difficult was it playing overseas? How did you adjust?
You know what? I did adjust. I went over there for a little while. I came home, man, because I was used to eating, and I didn't like, you know, the foreign food. It wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for me. And some people can adapt and thrive over there. For me, because I love to eat, like I have to, you know, I have to eat. And if the food don't taste too good to me, or a lot of cold food or something like that, like, yeah, I didn't do too well because I wasn't eating good. So I came home. So some guys do well though.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions for Maurice? You see anybody else?
No, I saw where Smurf made a comment, said the most valuable time of my basketball life was that summer between my junior and senior year in the park by myself late at night, almost every night.
Yeah.
That goes to what you were just saying, putting the work in.
That's right. And everybody wants to blow up overnight, but even with me playing college football, it was some nights I would run down to the railroad track back every like 20 times with a football, throwing it up. Nobody was watching, but because I figured if I could catch a football in the dark, then of course I'm gonna catch it with the lights on. But everyone, they want to get there, but no one shows highlight tapes when you're working out. It ain't cool. But that's what the kids need to see. They need to see that process from A to B. You're just not gonna get there.
And I think to add something to that, I think, and that's being able to do it on your own, Reggie. No one had to train you to do that. Do you understand? Like, to be able to do it on your own and then maybe later add a trainer into it. But to do stuff on your own and have commitment by yourself, that's what's most important. Yeah. A lot of people just want to be train me. No, have some dedication by yourself to be successful and work on things on your own, and then add some trainer to come help you. So I think they get it kind of twisted when it comes to that.
They do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because life, I think what life is, everybody says life is you got to go 50% of the way. Sometimes in life, you got to go 75% of the way. You got to go, because if you wait for somebody to come to you, they're not coming. We had to go to our dreams and find them. And Maurice, one thing I got to say about you, your brother, man, Joe, because Joe and I are in the same class. So when I was at Livingstone, I was working out over the summer by myself. I think me, Leon, and Rashawn Jennings. We were working out, Leon Rivers. We were working out, and I was like, man, I'm running, but I'm getting faster, but I'm hitting that peak. And he was like, man, my brother got some strength shoes. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, I get them for you. And you know how tall he is, so they was bigger, but I made them junkers work, you know. And I was at camp running with them strength shoes. So got my 40 down. So I appreciate Joe and I appreciate you, man. But let me I don't know where they're at now, so I had to buy you a new pair. But see, that's how we always give. That's how this thing keep going around and around. It's a circle.
Yeah.
That's right, brother.
And what and I'm saying I'm speaking for both of us. I'm pretty sure Bill feels the same way. And we want to do things for our community. We want to do things for him. We want to come back home, and a couple of times I went home, I passed by the park and I was going to go out there and shoot around. I said, man, as much crime is going on around here, them little kids come out there and look at me like, who are you?
Right.
And that was actually my thought. And it doesn't have to be like that. Because I remember the bottom, and Smurf mentioned on here earlier about the bottom, Counter Lane, and the park in Varnville. That's where we developed in those parts, because we couldn't get into a gym. We had to break in the gym, Wade Hampton gym, in order to get in. And what really bothers me, Varnville Rec, we couldn't get in there. It's probably still like that. We had to play out in the park, and there's still not a gym that the kids can go in freely down there right now. Why is that?
That's right. Yeah, so Hampton County, if contact your city council when it's time to vote. We just had a vote. You need to let these people know that a lot of these kids don't have anything to do, so they're going to do whatever. Like for us, we used to go to, what we'll do is we'll turn the lights on in the park, the baseball lights. Then somebody call the police, turn those lights off. So we turn them back on. And then once we found out that we can go in the gym, the Armory, and play, we did the same thing y'all did. We broke in the gym to play a little bit. And what that did for us was we got to play with each other and play on a court, even though that, you know how that court was, you shoot too high, you're gonna hit the rafters. The backboards was so big, but it was just something that we can do. They need something like that, and not just Hampton, but all over in those communities to let people know that, hey, you can do these things. Get them off the streets, but they gotta have something to do. If not, what's gonna happen is they're gonna do what they're doing now. Because when you don't have hope, man, you just do whatever.
Yeah,
that's right.
Hey, I see a question
he gave y'all. What was that,
Aiden have another question. He says, Willie, you have had such a great career. What moment in your career are you most proud of?
The moment in my career I'm most proud of, I would say just one of them would be playing for the Dakota Wizards in Bismarck, North Dakota, which is now the NDBL, was winning championship there under head coach Dave Yeager, who's now going to be the assistant coach for, I think, Brooklyn. Oh, 76ers. Yeah. I think that was that was one of my great experiences as well. And I still chat with him every now and again. So that's stuff that I
do that you dissed me and Maurice for, right?
Yeah, but that's a
friend. The same thing. That's the dude. He hopped off the phone with us, and I had to let him know when he got back on there.
I hadn't talked to him in a while, so that's what I told you guys. Rad, you always want to bring up something.
No, that's a great question, Aiden. Yeah. Well, if there are not any more questions, we'll go ahead and close out. We're going to do this again with some more hometown legends. So be on the lookout for an email from me or a message, and we'll be reaching out to you. But again, guys, round of applause. I want to thank both of you.
Yeah. And if they have any questions that comes up after this, if they want to leave them in the comments, I'll be going back through and checking. For those of you that have questions for me, if you want to send me a message in Messenger, feel free to do that.